TikTok was banned for like 45 seconds yesterday. TikTok went down. It was actually for about 12 and a half hours. And TikTok is back up. Coincidentally, I was actually at a party sponsored by TikTok last night. I didn't even realize the party was sponsored by TikTok until I got there. I thought, this is kind of awkward for you guys, huh? You're sponsoring one of these parties in D.C. and your app might not even exist. But there's been a big fight over this because Republicans want to take TikTok down. Democrats want to keep TikTok up. Some Democrats now want to take TikTok down. President Trump wants to keep TikTok up. What is going on? First of all, the TikTok influencers were absolutely melting down yesterday. We have, the heartbroken TikTok users. It's gone. TikTok is gone. I'm going through withdrawals. This is a crime. I'm just quoting directly from some big TikTok users. Mentally, I'm totally disassociating right now. I'm crashing bad. This can't be effing real. I hope they recovered. I hope not too many of them committed seppuku or, leapt from there. Well, they weren't outside. Usually they're sort of inside. But I hope some of them are doing all right. Many registered nurses and employees for the National Institutes of Health are very relieved because I don't know what they would do if they couldn't choreograph silly dances on TikTok. Then they'd have to treat people, or I don't know, first responders, all sorts of, they keep popping up on TikTok. But TikTok is popping back up on the App Store. What is going on here? What's going on is you're seeing a major political fight between multiple factions. This is not just left versus right. This is not just U.S. versus China. The TikTok battle is a complex, nuanced political fight where it's not exactly clear who our friends and enemies are. So when TikTok was going down, a ton of Americans signed up for an app called Red Note. It's an app for which the Chinese translates more directly to Little Red Book, which is the book of sayings of Chairman Mao. So not great. According to the Chinese state-owned Global Times, Red Note has become a message board for the people of China and the U.S., reflecting the simple wish of both countries and the international community for peace, prosperity, and security. From sharing memes and cat taxes, something called the cat tax on there, where Chinese people will demand a cat tax of American users, which means the American users have to post pictures of cats, and then the Chinese will respond and tell them whatever about their country. The phrase Red Note and cat tax both seem a little bit on the nose for a Chinese app. I don't know. That's probably a little politically incorrect, but I don't know. We demand your cats. What do they say in China? They'll eat anything with 4 legs other than a table and anything with 2 legs other than a human. So the cat tax, I don't think they're actually eating them. That's mostly, obviously, Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. But also Red Note, a little on the nose. Clearly, TikTok in the U.S. is a vehicle for Russian state, Communist Chinese Party propaganda. And yet, President Trump is thinking about giving them a reprieve and putting TikTok back on. Why? Why, you ask? Why is Trump going to give TikTok a 90-day extension? Why is Joe Biden not enforcing the ban during the one day in office that might have overlapped with the ban passed by the legislators and Trump's being inaugurated? It seems to me this extension is aimed at 3 big players. China, certainly, and YouTube and Facebook. In principle, I have no problem with a TikTok ban because I'm not a free speech absolutist. I certainly don't think a hostile foreign government has the right to a direct communication line into the United States to spread propaganda to our own citizens. I don't think there's any right to that whatsoever. And I have no particular affection for the Chinese Communist Party. However, the chief beneficiaries in the U.S. from a TikTok ban are going to be Facebook and YouTube. And Facebook and YouTube, they're trying to suck up to conservatives now, but they have spent years trying to actively censoring us, trying to defeat President Trump and succeeding in 2020, trying to take over the public square in a self-governing republic. That means you essentially take over the political order, personally harming our business in particular. So no, I don't want to give them any advantage. in the free marketplace of big tech. So what is this about? I think what we're seeing from President Trump is the art of the deal. It's a little bit of a negotiation. I think he wants to make Facebook and YouTube sweat a little bit, and I think they do need to sweat, and I think they need to make major concessions, and I think they need to stop all the unjust activity that we've seen for years. But also, I think he wants some leverage with China. I think he wants to say, look, TikTok is really popular, and so look, we're happy to have TikTok in America, especially if some more right-wing content can break through on there, but we're going to need some concessions for that. In China has its own version of TikTok, which promotes news, scholarly kinds of materials, orderly things. But what do they send to America? Just brain rot trash, just absolute slop. So maybe Trump gets some concessions out of China and how TikTok works. At the very least, though, we need to level the playing field because China will not allow our communications apps into their country. So what maybe he says, look, loosen up the restrictions on our communications apps. It's just like trade. He says, look, it's not that we want to close off trade. We like trade, but the trade has to be fair. We shouldn't be getting ripped off on trade, okay? So, sure, you can have access to the American market, China, when we're just talking about trade broadly, but you need to stop illegally subsidizing your industries. You need to stop devaluing your currency, as you, especially some years ago, were doing a lot. You need to stop dumping your products here. You need to play by the rules, okay? And TikTok's got to play by some rules. And you know what? Maybe our big tech companies in America need to play by the rules too. It's not always an either or. You can build some consensus here, okay? That's what President Trump did. That's how he won the popular vote as a Republican for the first time in 20 years.